Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing swatches again with you from I Am Custom Color. Again, I do have a few releases going on here, so I have my phone. I'm going to read everything off to you just so I don't miss anything. So I have their Costa Rican Winter collection, which is a 6-piece collection. I then have a Grimm Holoday Duo, and then I have their 4-year Indie-versary Duo. So I do have 10 polishes here to share with you. All of them released November 24th. Everything in the Costa Rican collection will retail for $8. Same goes for the Holodays, or the Grimm Holodays Duo. Those will retail for $8 a piece, or you can do $15 for the two. And then one polish in the Indie-versary retails for $6, and then the other one retails for $10, but again, you can do the duo for $15. In the description box below, I will link I Am Custom Color's site, as well as their Instagram page, and I will also link my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything from today's video. I do also have a coupon code. It is not an affiliate code. I don't get anything for it, so use it as you please. And 10 polishes, so let's go ahead and get started. So I will start with the Costa Rican Winter collection, and first up we have Playa Concho. And this is described as a pastel creamsicle with blue, red, purple, iridescent color shifting flakies and shimmer. This was inspired by a beautiful shell beach. Here's our first coat of Playa Concho. This is a really light color, so it is going to need to be built up. Also, if it was any more opaque than it is, you would never get to see those flakies. This does have a good formula though. It is easy to use, easy to work with. I will say, due to the amount of flakies that are in this polish though, it does kind of feel a little bit chunky, but it doesn't look chunky. So here's the second coat, and this is building up nicely on 2 coats, but I am going to go in for a 3rd coat just because it's a little uneven for me. If you did thicker coats, you would probably be able to wear this in 2 coats with no problem. This does dry down just a little bit dull, so you will want a nice glossy top coat. I do feel that the larger flakies in this are kind of lost. They're beautiful in the bottle, but they're not really there on the nail much. This does cover for me completely in 3 coats, and the shimmer in this one is phenomenal. Again, you will want a nice glossy top coat. Those flakies might stand out more with a matte top coat though, so there's 3 coats. I'm going to stop doing swatch videos for I Am Custom Color because the names that she uses are just insane to me. So this next polish is called Cerveza and Lizards, and this is described as a green to yellow thermal with copper shimmers, flakies, hollow glitter, and flecks. Here's our first coat of Servation and Lizards. This has a phenomenal formula. It's not too thick, not too thin, doesn't want to run or pull. It stays right where you put it. And I'm working in extremely thin coats here, and it is going to build up just fine in 2 coats. You do get little chunks here and there in this polish. I assume it's larger flakies that just haven't been broken up yet. So here is 2 coats. This one does cover completely in 2 coats, and the thermal effect on this one works so nicely. You will want a nice glossy top coat for this because it does dry fully matte. And those flakies don't stick to your nail. It's not going to be difficult to remove or anything like that. So there's 2 coats. And here is the cold water and the warm water. And just a little side by side of the 2 colors. Show how quickly they change. Next up we have Arenal Springs, and this is described as a mint ultra hollow with iridescent color shifting blue flakies and shimmers. Here's our first coat of Arenal Springs. This has a nice formula, again, easy to use, not too thick, not too thin. It is on the thicker side though. I Am Custom Color typically does have thicker formulas, but it makes it nice and easy to use where it just stays right where you put it. And if it's too thick for your liking, I have added a couple drops of thinner to a couple bottles before, and it does the trick just fine. This does cover for me completely in 2 coats. Depending on your preferences, you may end up wanting a 3rd coat. Once again, this does dry pretty dull, so you will want a nice glossy top coat to help all that shimmer stand out. So there's 2 coats. Up next we have Glowing Waters, and this is described as a navy ultra hollow with tons of shimmer, iridescent flakies, and UCC flakies. Here's our first coat of Glowing Waters, and depending on your application, you may be able to get this completely opaque in just one coat. It is fully opaque here for me on one coat, but I am going to go in for 2 coats because I am inconsistent. I did have to worry about running or going into my cuticles with this one just a little bit. Her brushes are on the wider side, so for my extremely C-curved nails, that can be an issue. This does cover for me completely in 2 coats here though, and this one does dry pretty textured, and it is going to be a little bit difficult to remove because there is a plethora of micro glitter in here. So there's 2 coats. Up next we have Plantain Muffins, and this is described as a mid-tone purple hollow with tons of blue, purple, red, and green iridescent shifting flakies. Here's our first coat of Plantain Muffins. This one has a nice formula. It's a little bit thinner than the rest of the ones in this collection, but it's very easy to work with. Again, those flakies in there seem to get a little bit lost on the nail, but the darker ones stand out just fine. So here's 2 coats, and this is completely opaque in 2 coats for me. Depending on your application and preference though, you may opt to go in for a 3rd coat. This one looks beautiful with a matte top coat, but you will want a glossy or matte top coat either way because it dries down to like a satiny dull finish. So there's 2 coats. Up next we have Night Monkeys, and this is described as a black ultra hollow with silver flakies and micro glitter. Here's our first coat of Night Monkeys, and Ashley has really perfected the black hollow formula. This has a fantastic, easy to work with formula. It's one of those beginner friendly polishes. Again, her brushes are on the thicker side, so it is easy to get into the sides of your nails, but it has nothing to do with the formula of this polish. Depending on your application, you may be able to get away with 1 coat, but I am going to go ahead and show you 2. Again, this one dries textured and it does dry dull, so either way you will want a nice glossy top coat, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to remove because of all the micro glitter. So there's 2 coats. And that comes with a mini bottle. This is just called Night Monkeys Topper, and this is micro silver hollow stars and hollow flakies in a clear base. And here's 1 coat of that topper. I'm showing it over Night Monkeys because it only comes with this polish. You can't get it otherwise, but I feel like it doesn't add a whole lot to the polish itself. It would be more beneficial to a cream polish, and you do have to do glitter placement if you want any of those stars. I could not get any of them out of the bottle without having to place them myself, which is not an issue for me, but it is something to note for you. So there is 1 coat. So now we will move on to the Grimm Holoday Duo, and the first polish is called Mother Holle, and this is described as a white hollow with blue iridescent shimmers and flakies, but it does come off more of a extremely light My Boyfriend Scales Walls-esque gray. Here's our first coat of Mother Holle. This has a beautiful formula. It's buttery, smooth, easy to work with, dries very fast. All of her polishes dry extremely fast. Doesn't want to run, doesn't pull, doesn't do anything funky, staining, nothing like that. So here's the 2nd coat, and this one does cover completely in 2 coats for me, but again, depending on your preference and application, you may end up wanting to go for a 3rd coat. This does dry a little bit dull though, so you might want a glossy top coat for this, but it also looks really beautiful with a matte top coat. To get that shimmer to stand out nicely though, a glossy top coat is recommended. So there's 2 coats. Up next is Golden Goose, and this is described as an antiquened golden ultra hollow with UCC flakies. Here's our first coat of Golden Goose, and this is a little bit sheer here on this first coat, but it does build up really nicely. Gold is another formula that I feel like this brand has down packed. This is very easy to use, stays right where you put it, another beginner friendly formula. And it does cover decently well here on this first coat. It is just a touch sheer. So here's the 2nd coat, and this one does cover completely in 2 coats for me. It also dries a little bit dull, so you will want a nice glossy top coat, but this one is another one that looks beautiful yet again with a matte top coat. I also had no issues with brush strokes or staining here. So there's 2 coats. And the last two polishes are for I Am Custom Colors for your Indie-versary, and the first polish is called Cali Dreamin, and this is a neon cream pink coral polish inspired by the Mamas and Papas song. This is literally freaking my camera out. Here's our first coat of Cali Dreamin. This has a phenomenal formula. It stays right where you put it. It doesn't run, pull, anything wacky. This is also comparable to China Glaze's Flip Flop Fantasy, the original formula. It's a the original color. It's a nice polish. It does go on a little less patchy and streaky than that one though. So here is the second coat, and for most people this would cover just fine in 2 coats. I am going to go in for a third coat because there is just a little bit of patchiness going on here. But if you lightly fan your brush over your nail, you won't have any issues with streaking or anything like that. You do have to have a delicate hand when applying this one though to get away with 2 coats, but I am going to just go ahead and show you 3 coats. This one also dries extremely glossy. So here is the third coat, and like I said, this one does cover completely in 3 coats. I also had no issues with staining or anything funky with this one. This is nice and bright and vibrant on your nails without having to have a white base coat. So there's 3 coats. And the other polish in this duo is Crab Nebula, and this is described as a ultra chameleon chrome shifting polish with iridescent color shifting flakies and UCC flakies that shift from blue to green to purple to gold. And I'm going to try to mess with my lighting a little bit and see if maybe I can pick up some of the other colors. You see how it's kind of green around the edges. It shifts all the way to purple. So here's our first coat of Crab Nebula. This one also has a great formula. It's a little bit on the thinner side, but it is very easy to use. Doesn't want to run or pull. Especially if you have a base coat, I feel like it builds better on itself than it does on your bare nail. You get a good amount of these little flakies out on your nail without having to do any kind of swirling or manipulating, holding the bottle upside down, anything crazy like that. So here's the second coat, and I'm sure most people would be able to get away with 2 coats on this one, but I am going to go in for a third. Adding that third coat does help the multi-chrome shift become more prevalent on your nails. But if you didn't want to do 3 coats of this and you wanted to save your polish, you can layer this over a black. 1 coat over black would give you the same effect as 3 coats on its own, maybe even a little bit more of that shift. But here's 3 coats, and this one does cover for me again completely in 3 coats. This one also dries decently glossy. It's not going to be difficult to remove or anything wacky like that. So there's 3 coats. So of these 10, Arenal Springs is my favorite. This is a very beautiful, delicate blue that I can actually pull off, but it is more of a spring color in my opinion, or like a January winter. So come January, I really can't wait to wear this one. And that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time. Bye.